Today I'm going to show you a simple way to bottle a sparkling wine or champagne without creating a big foamy mess, and this will help you kind of retain that carbonation that you've achieved. If you like these kinds of winemaking videos, be sure to click subscribe below and click the bell for notifications. Now, we've already showed you how to carbonate a wine in a keg. I've used my little torpedo keg kit. You can get this at More Beer. I'll put a link to that in the description. This is just a little 2.5 gallon keg, and it works great for winemaking. It's relatively portable, but in the event that you don't really want to bring the keg with you somewhere, you might want to bring some bottles with you. We'll show you how to get that sparkling wine into bottle at home without any fancy equipment whatsoever. You don't need any fancy corkers to bottle champagne. You can just use these plastic stoppers and wire retainers to hold the stopper from shooting off the bottle unexpectedly. You can also use a 22mm crown cap, which is like you would have on a beer bottle, but it's just a little bit bigger. So if you have a beer capper, you just need a little bit of a different bell in that capper to put the crown caps onto a champagne bottle. So I'll show you what would happen if we were to just fill a bottle from a keg without any sort of method to control the foam. And we're running about 10 psi in the keg right now. And you can see it's really starting to foam up pretty good, and all that's lost carbonation, and it's going to be a pain. As you get up to the neck here, it's going to take forever to get that thing to fill, and you're going to spill over the top. So something that people use often to bottle into a champagne bottle is a counter pressure bottle filler. So what that does is it equalizes the pressure in the bottle to the pressure coming out of the keg. So you would normalize that pressure to 10 psi and slowly bleed that pressure off, or bleed that off to fill the keg. But a counter pressure bottle filler costs about $100. Even if you try to make one yourself, it's really hard to make one for under about $80 by the time you buy all the little valves and things that you need. So I did something relatively simple. I took a maple syrup tap. So you can get these for about 25 cents. And once you see what I've done here, you'll find that maybe you don't need to do it the exact way I did, but this is how I've done it. I took a champagne topper and a piece of 5/8 inch racking cane food grade hose. And what I've done with those is drilled a 5/8 inch hole through the champagne stopper, pushed the maple syrup tap into it, and then connected the racking tube to the other end of that. And the real goal of this is basically to have something I can seal off on the top of that bottle while filling the sparkling wine. And additionally, I want to be able to fill from the bottom. So that kind of stops that splashing effect of foaming. And by sealing, it basically normalizes the pressure so that you can't really, you're not really foaming out of control. So we'll take one of these bottles here, and I'll show you how I do this. And what's really cool about this maple syrup tap is it fits perfectly onto a picnic tap and seals. So you've got these barbs on the maple syrup tap, and this is a little bit of a tapered fitting inside the picnic tap, so it perfectly seals, which is a wonderful little hack. So I'll go ahead and I'll put this in here, and I'm going to press down on the topper, but I'm not really going to push it in. I'm just going to push it like an 1/8 inch, just enough to get a seal. And then we'll go ahead and we'll start to fill. So you'll get a little bit of foam right at first, but what's happening here is the bottle is starting to pressurize and equalize to that 10 psi. and you'll see it's kind of stopping. So what I need to do is I need to bleed that pressure off. So I'll take this and I'll just kind of crack it. And now I can just kind of, as I'm filling, just kind of bleed pressure out. I don't know if you can hear. I'll put my microphone up close here. If it starts to foam at all, you can just kind of let the pressure build for a bit and don't bleed it for a second. And as you get close to the top, you're going to kind of want to lay off on the picnic tap lever. And eventually just completely stop it altogether. So there you have it, you're full to the top. And then you want to cap on foam if you can. So we'll throw the cap on. And you can see that this makes a little bit of a mess. So what you'd want to do is actually go from bottle to bottle instead of just do one at a time like this. But I'll put my crown or my retainer on here. And to put these on, you just kind of take a pen, just kind of give them a pull, and then you can twist them. Ooh, make sure that doesn't fall there. So we'll give that a twist. And about 6 or 7 twists is what you want. Then we'll wiggle the pen off. And then we can fold this up. And now we've got a bottled sparkling wine, just like you might get at a store. It's nice to do this on a tray like I'm doing here, just so that you don't, again, create more of a mess than you really need to. I'm just reusing champagne bottles here, by the way, so you'll see I have some labels on them. And they all kind of fit a little bit different. Like this one, for instance, fits a little bit looser. So we'll go ahead. And you kind of get the hang of it the more you do it. And here, I'll get another bottle lined up so I can just set my little gizmo into the next bottle on deck. And then again, always don't ever forget to put your wire retainer on. And you can make this little thing that I've made for really cheap, and you don't necessarily have to do it the exact same way that I've done it. You can make it out of a rubber stopper if you happen to have the right one laying around. You could push a tube through the hole. But what I'll do is I'll make this available on my website, and I'll offer it for pretty cheap. So if you want to build it yourself, feel free to build it yourself. But if you don't want to go through the hassle, stop by smartwinemaking.com/stickers and gadgets. And I'll put it on there for something like $10 or something, so that you can do this on your own. And it's going to be nice for the person who's kind of doing this occasionally, maybe doesn't need the fancy piece of equipment, and you know, maybe just make champagne or sparkling wine every once in a while. We'll just do this one more bottle here. You can see I'm just kind of, you can actually hear it good on this one as I'm bleeding the pressure out. You'll see the wine kind of jolt up as I bleed the pressure. So that's a nice and easy way you can bottle champagne at home. Hope this was very helpful, and be sure to check out some of my other winemaking videos. Thanks for watching.